Hey everybody, this is Diesel from Imagine Your Goddess doing the first Celestial build on our channel. I'm going to go straight into it just to let you know, Angel Feather Celestials, the goal is gigantic numbers. Huge columns. So for my starter, I'm running First Aid Celestial Peniel. She is a Forerunner, and you can put her into the Soul as an activated ability to take a face-up Celestial from your damage, put it into play, and then take a card from the top of your deck and put it face down. Next up on my triggers, I've got the 4 Celestial Heals. I've got the 4 Celestial Crits. I've got 4 crits that are not Celestial. And I've got 4 Draw Celestials. Okay? The main thing you got to be careful about is putting this card, Rampage Card Angel, or whichever non-Celestial crit you're using, onto the field. Because then you got to be careful about adding numbers correctly. If you're only playing Celestials on the field, it's not a big deal. Once you start playing non-Celestials, you got to pay attention to numbers. And a mistake I'm sure you will see on one of my videos. Okay? So, let's talk about grade 1s. The only other non-Celestial card in the deck is 2 copies of Battle Cupid Naciel. Naciel, when it guards, lets you do a damage switch with your hand. Doing a damage switch with your hand allows you to get Zeracels into the damage zone. It allows you to get perfect shields back. It allows you to set up counterblasts correctly. All in all, you at least want to run 2. I only run 2 because I don't have any space for any more. Then I run 4 copies of Hesediel. That's how I'm going to pronounce it. Hesediel. Okay. This Celestial is a 9K as long as you have a face-up Zerakill in the damage zone. It's a 9K on your turn. So that means it's a 9K booster. Very good. Then I've got 4 copies of the 10K Attacker. I'm not even going to pretend to pronounce the name. And I've got 4 copies of the Celestial Perfect Guard. Now, the Celestial Perfect Guard does work as a Perfect Guard for any Angel Feather deck, but I'm running 4 of Celestial in here, that way if I have to play it, I have a Celestial on the field. Okay? Let's go into my grade 2s. I have 4 copies. Sorry about that. Of the 12K Attacker. That's Ragwell, as far as I'm concerned. Then I've got 4 copies of the 10K Vanilla, Becca. And then I've got 3 copies of Candle Celestial Sariel. What she does is when she's placed on the rear guard only, you can counterblast 1, and you can search your deck for a face-up Angel Feather, or for a Angel Feather and put it into the damage zone. Okay? And then if you do that, you can choose a face-up card from your damage zone and put it in your drop zone. So you need to have 2 damage off of the bat to make this work properly. But it allows you to search for Zerakill and put it in your damage zone. If you've already got a face-up Zerakill and you want to get something else in there, you can get the 9K when you have a face-up Zerakill in there. That way you can combo with your starter. Lots of fun little combo things with Candle. A lot of people ask me why I don't run 4 Candle. The main reason is that she's an 8K. If you are not hitting Zerakill into your damage zone, you are not hitting numbers in this deck, especially if you're running 4 copies of Candle. I know that Candle helps fix that problem, but sometimes you just don't get what you want, and it's much better to be safe, for me, than to be sorry. That's my own personal opinion. You guys are welcome to yours. Alright everybody, sorry about the camera shift. Now we're going into the grade 3s. I run 4 copies of Prophecy Celestial Ramiel. Now, she's the break ride for Angel Feather, and what she does is when you ride over her with a grade 3 or better, and you have 4 damage, you can choose a card from your damage zone, put it in your hand, and put the top card of your damage zone face up into the damage zone. And then it gives a Vanguard 10,000 until end of turn. It's also a 13K attacker when it attacks, and it has Lord. Now, this card is really good, especially when you don't have Zerakill on the field yet. But once you do get Zerakill on the field, or in the damage zone rather, you don't have to break ride. It's helpful sometimes. If you haven't gotten to 3 damage, by all means ride Ramiel and put pressure on the opponent. It's also good because if you have the 9K booster out when Zerakill's in the damage zone, you're swinging for 21, magic number, pretty good. Okay? Finally, we run 4 copies of solidifies Celestial Zerakel. Okay? Zerakel's ability is when there is a Zerakel in the damage zone and you have limit break 4, all of your face-up Celestials on the field have 3,000 power. So that makes 6,000 extra power to columns that are all Celestial. Okay? She can also, as an activated ability, a special counterblast Celestials to get plus 5,000 until end of turn. She also has Lord. Okay? So basically this is the way the deck works. You get one of these into the damage zone, and then you build columns as strong as you can to go into places. The best columns are an 11k up front and or the 12k attacker up front in columns, and a Celestial 9k booster when Zerakel's in the damage. Because then you're swinging with 26 on every single row before triggers, before a special counterblast. And if you broke ride, that makes this one a 36 before all that stuff. Huge, huge numbers that put a lot of pressure on the opponent. Don't be afraid to ride Zerakel before you ride Ramia. Getting the break ride is very useful, especially if you don't have Zerakel on the field, or in the damage zone. But it's not absolutely necessary for this to hit numbers that it needs to hit. Your opponent is often scrambling to guard because they're 3-stage blocks right off of the bat. Okay? And if your opponent's playing a 10k Vanguard, you can have pretty weak T rows be pretty awesome. Now, a couple of things that you got to be careful of in this deck are playing your non-celestial cards into rear booster things, especially that crit trigger, because sometimes you'll forget. And when you don't have Zerakel in the damage zone. If you don't get Zerakel into the damage zone, you don't have any abilities based off of her ability. So all your rows are pretty much vanilla rows. There's so many ways already, though, in the deck to get Zerakel in the damage zone that I don't feel comfortable doing something stupid like adding Love Machine Gun, or an extra Battle Cupid Naciel, or even an extra of the 8k Celestial that puts something into the damage zone. If you feel uncomfortable about it, by all means, take out a 10k Vanilla Grade 2 and put in another Candle Celestial. But me personally, I think that it runs fine. 9 times out of 10, I get Zerakel into the damage zone, so it's not that big a deal. Plus, if you never hit Zerakel into your hand after you put her in the damage zone, it doesn't really matter anyway. Okay? I placed a little low on this deck in tournament this week, and I think it was mostly because I did not hit triggers when I needed to hit triggers. But there are those two problems, so make sure when you're doing this deck, you pay attention to those problems, and for God's sake, do the math. Do not let your opponent assume that they know what your numbers are, and don't you assume that you know either until you've done extensive math on it. Because if you're not doing your calculations right, your opponent isn't guarding for high enough, and that causes you problems later down the road. That's the deck. If you guys enjoy it, shoot me a comment and let me know. If you have any questions or comments, by all means put them in the comment section. We'll talk to you soon.